Oh yeah. I don't know. I mean, if you're talking about okay, so if you're talking about in terms of cheap and actually good food, like it's a good meal, the best meal in New York City, since that's where the Take 12 podcast will be this upcoming week. The best meal for my money in New York City as a New Yorker. I did 5 years there. My formative years. It's just you go to any place named Ray's and you just say, give me an original slice. And then you can get like a glass bottle of Budweiser out of the cooler. And it's like, it costs you like, I don't know, $5, $6, $7 probably nowadays because of the beer.
Yeah, probably.
But if you went with a soda, dude, if you went with a soda, it's like $2.50. But the beer's on you. But I'm saying like just a slice and a beer, best meal. And you fold the slice too. It's the New York slice. Yeah. Oh, Lofa. I can't wait.
I was wondering where you were going with that one. But yeah, going to New York. And you better say pizza. Even though New Yorkers, I'm sorry, it's overrated.
No.
Overrated.
What do you mean? Like a New York style slice?
What is New York style?
The thin, giant triangle. It's like bigger than the plate. The
slice is the size of the plate.
Yeah, you have to like kind of hold the plate and like dangle it over your mouth.
Nothing special.
No, what?
It's no Papagino's.
What's Papagino's?
Yeah.
Where's that?
Massachusetts, all in the northeast region.
Oh.
Shout out to Papagino's.
You all know the rules. One bite. You all know the rules. One bite.
I'm sure they've done a pizza review on that.
Give us the review. Give us the loaf tea review.
I mean, it's perfect.
Okay.
I don't know what else to say.
Is it a chain?
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like only up, kind of like Dunkin' Donuts is only up in like, New England area. It's a New England chain.
Well, thanks for bringing up something in a place where we're not going. Or I guess if you have an extra day and a half and you can get up there, get some za.
I will import some.
All right.
To battle New York pizza.
There's a fancy New York pizza place called like Artichoke and Garlic or something like that. It's like, I don't know. It's Katie. It's like some fancy pizza guy owns a place in New York that's called the Fancy Artichoke or something. I don't know. But I was there one time when I was doing press in New York for the TV show I was on. And I went to this fancy pizza place and Lofa. I looked to my left and sitting at a table eating there was Tony Gonzalez, Hall of Fame tight end.
Tony G,
dude. I almost fell over myself. I was like, hey, man. And I kind of accosted him. You know how I do.
I know you get excited. Yeah.
Dude, I get pumped to see a baller out there. So, but he was nice, though. And, I was just like, oh, big fan, man, and everything.
Did you hug him like Brock?
I took a bite of his pizza. Just reached down.
Just sat down.
Grabbed his slice. No, it was cool. That was a cool, celeb sighting out in the wild.
We should figure out a way to bring somebody from Massachusetts to New York City, and they should bring some pizza.
Ooh, that'd be fun. Isn't Hasselbeck from Massachusetts? We get him to drive down a slice.
He is from the great Commonwealth of Massachusetts, as all ballers are.
We'll have to reach out to
Shout out to Jake Bobo too. We'll get to that. Massachusetts.
There we go. That's the segue I needed. Should we start the show?
Let's go.
Take 12 if you want the run uncut. Yeah. Unapologetic from the jump. Yeah. And no politics in this club. Just dirt from the streets and the clicks in the mud. Take 12. Best podcast for the Seahawks. #1 sports talk. Yeah, we got it on live. Take 12. Every episode 12 hot takes. And we reppin' for Seattle, my place.
It's the Take 12 podcast. Thanks for listening. He's Loaf T. I'm Brady D. Welcome to the show. What's up, everybody? Feeling good, Lofa. I think we're all feeling good here in Seahawk land. Your favorite team is 2-1. Kind kind of a slow start to the game this weekend, but they ended up taking it to the Panthers at the end of the day, and that was nice to see. And so we'll chat about that and everything that we saw from the game after we tell you about our sponsor, Wiener Schnitzel. 2 locations in Western Washington, Fife and Everett. Go in and do something different for lunch today. Check out the hot dogs, the burgers. You can put the chili sauce on there or not. Sometimes I go chili sauce, and then sometimes I think, too spicy.
With that attitude.
But if you do the chili sauce, make sure you keep the pickles on there. Pro tip. A little bit of the vinegar, the salt from the pickle cuts through the spice of the chili sauce. You getting hungry yet?
Yeah.
Delicious. You can get the mini corn dogs. Maybe get the mini corn dogs side of chili sauce to dunk your corn dogs into. These are too many pro tips to count, Lofa.
It's great options.
I'm telling you. Check them out, everybody. Also, delicious ice cream treats, root beer floats, milkshakes, the works at Wiener Schnitzel. Mention your favorite Seahawks podcast, the Take 12 podcast, and get a free small soda with any other purchase. Check them out. It's Wiener Schnitzel, everybody. Lofa, the Seahawks ended up dismantling Andy Dalton and the Carolina Panthers. The final score is 27-37. I mean, we really pulled away at the end. It didn't feel that close to me. It didn't feel like even a 10-point game to me, really. I'm riding high after this one, feeling pretty good. It was the Carolina Panthers, though, with a backup quarterback. However, possibly the best backup quarterback in the league, maybe. So, I mean, how are you feeling after this one?
A win is a win, first of all. They're hard to come by in this league. And, no, I feel good. I thought it was strong. You know, and I know Pete, didn't start how we wanted. We couldn't convert in the red zone or, get some touchdowns instead of field goals. But everybody chipped in, and it was a complete team win. And the way Pete likes to win, the numbers weren't crazy, but we were running the ball very effectively, and stayed with it. I think we had something like 30 carries or maybe a couple more. And defense, we did what we had to. Want to see some more turnovers, but we did get some pressure on him. And you're right. I wouldn't be surprised if they give Andy Dalton a little more time. Tell Bryce to sit and learn and watch, because he did look good. He looked good.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the dreaded backup quarterback, especially as a Seahawk fan, you weren't here for our pregame show, but man, I went over it with Dez from the Carolina Panthers podcast, because there's nothing scarier to a Seahawk fan than a backup quarterback on a team that needs a win. And so, especially as the game started to unfold and we kept trotting Jason Myers out there, which of course he's not on my fantasy team anymore at this point. He goes out there. I mean, look, if he would have been on the Sea Chicken still, he wasn't going 5 for 5 or whatever he was. So, you're welcome that he
5 for 5 and 2 extra points, 2 for 2.
Nailed it. Yeah.
All of them right down the middle. Like, it was insane performance by him.
You guys, I dropped Jason Myers. He nails everything. I keep picking against the Seahawks. Wink, wink. And they keep winning. So we're doing it right around here at Take 12. But so it kind of felt like one of those games, though, to start out, didn't it? It was like, oh boy, here we go again. And then especially when they get their first touchdown. I mean, man, it was like, oh no, here we go again, wasn't it?
The longer you let an 0-3, 0-2 team, or a team that hasn't won yet, is very dangerous. I don't care how ugly the score was in weeks before. They're hungry for one win to just get the season started. So every week they're restarting, giving that, everything they got as if it's the first game. And, they're familiar playing out here. I feel like we play them every year.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton's familiar playing out here. So I was very pleased with the win and the way they fought and slugged it out, even though things weren't going our way early on. But
if we look at the numbers a little bit, so let's see here. Dalton, he threw the ball 58 times. You need to ice up. Man.
I didn't understand that because they weren't out of the game until the end, and it was just steady. So I think really what kind of went wrong for them was obviously our crowd. And I thought that Andy, being a veteran and having played here before, would know, like, okay, I don't have time to get to the perfect play. I just have to get a play, especially with that young O-line he's got. 8 offsides, I think it was. They had 13 penalties overall. 8 of them were offsides. They were getting close to the record that they set against the Giants, the 12s, man. You could feel the energy from my house. Like, I was just like, oh my God, like I can't even hear the announcers. Charles Davis, who I love listening to, couldn't hear him on half of the commentary.
Yeah. Well, and you know what I think fueled that, man? Pass rush. 12s love a pass rush. Who doesn't love a pass rush? And they were getting to him. And so then that just fires everybody up. Because then you just think you can get to them on every play. And then you're fired up the whole time the D's out there.
Yeah, and Clint Hurt, shout out to him. He was bringing pressure with Bobby and Brooks up the middle, which is like when a quarterback sees it, it's one thing to like feel a shoulder pad hit or whatever. It's like, all right, I got away, I got to speed up the clock. But when he sees 2 monsters shooting the A gap like right down the pipe, it's like, okay, this is real. The crowd noise, the play calling, everything factored into it. And
how about the defense against the run? I mean, they didn't really stick to it or anything, but I mean, we were stuffing it. And the run D's been good the last 2 weeks. And also, I was going to ask you, because they were showing on the broadcast, Clint Hurt, he's up in the booth now. So is there something to that?
Yeah, vantage point. You get to see, like, the game slows down. The farther away you get, like, so say I'm playing D-line, shit happens quick in the trenches. I move back 5 yards to linebacker, it slows down a little. I move back to safety, it slows down even more. Same's for your perspective on the field as a coach or up in the booth. I was always up in the booth when I was coaching. And so you're looking down and you can tell what they're in, what they're trying to get done, accomplish out of each formation, tendencies, things like that. And so I think, he called a great game. And before we go further, the pass rush that you said that along with the 12s sparked such great emotion and inspired football. Mafe was in the backfield all day.
Yep.
Jaron Reed was, whether it was a run, he had a vicious hit versus the run. And then he had a sack and a half. Brooks, he got a half a sack. Like, we were just in the backfield. And so I
love a nose tackle sack. Nothing better than a big man sack.
And then he paid tribute. The other reason for Inspired Ball, the 2013 Super Bowl winning team was getting honored. And so they came out at halftime. KJ was on the mic. There was crowd was going nuts. Yeah. And Jaron Reed did the old school Mike Bennett sack. When he got up and he did the hip thrust. Just two.
Awesome.
It was hilarious. It was awesome though.
Yeah, it really was. Definitely the numbers. I mean, for Dalton, he threw for a bunch of yards, got those 2 touchdowns, but we were stuffing the run all day, and they were chucking it. We look on our side of the ball. Gino, he threw it 36 times, ended up just shy of 300 yards, 296 with a touchdown and the 1 pick. Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet and then Dallas, I combined, it's quick math, I think it's 30 attempts rushing the ball, and Walker ended up 3 yards short of 100 at 97, but had a long of 36. That was a fun one, and with the high white socks, looking good in the white jerseys and the blue pants, which was fun to watch them play around in at home. And then Metcalf, dude, I mean, DK, right? 6 receptions, 112. And I love it when DK goes off like that. It was fun to see. Hey, jumping into our Zoom, I want to get your take on all that and the Seahawks offense, but jumping into our Zoom is David Hawthorne. What's up, man?
What's going on?
Friend of the show. What's up, buddy?
Peter.
How's it going? Where's my applause? There it is. The heater's in the house, everybody. What's up? Yeah. We were talking about New York. We were talking about the game. We were talking about all those things in between. Where do you want to start, David?
Man, you know what, man? I was this weekend was crazy for me, man, because I'm the class president, and I had to plan my 20-year class reunion.
Oh
and
my
execute that thing.
Oh my goodness.
Why am I not surprised you're the class president? The guy does it all, ladies and gentlemen.
That makes so much sense. That's awesome. How did it go? Did you have the event or were you just planning it?
No, we had it. Yeah, I planned it working up to this day or this last weekend, and yeah, man, we had about 150 people strong, bro.
Wow. Nice.
Awesome.
That's fun.
I graduated with like 270.
Oh wow, okay.
Nice.
Good show.
I wasn't even invited to my high school reunions or any reunions for that matter. They don't invite me. I don't
Right?
even know what's happening. No.
They just don't have your address.
Yeah. I blocked my number a long time ago. Lofa, do you go to yours? Do you go to any of those?
I went to my 20th, I think. Who was that?
Yeah.
No, I went to my 15th. Is that they have them every like 10 years, 5 years, something like that?
Yeah, I think it's like 10, 20, and then 25, and you can have them.
I went to 10.
Yeah.
It was a good time. Yeah.
Well, reunions all over the place because they were doing the Super Bowl team reunion like we were talking about. That's my segue to get back to talking about football. Heater's going to tell me he didn't have time to watch the game then, I'm assuming. Did you watch the Hawks take on the Panthers this weekend?
No, man, I didn't watch anything. I didn't watch any football like that.
Got to be the first time in history that Hawthorne, Texas is known for football.
Oh, so. I know, man. It was well, I got to watch some football last night, a little bit of football last night because my brothers are just diehard Cowboys fans, and they just been in my ear all season. I'm like, come on.
Well, we're going to look around the league. We're going to look around the league in a minute, and we'll talk about the Cowboys. First, let me tell you about Delta Airlines, who sponsors our look around the league in a moment. Go to deltaairlines.com. That's the only airline that we fly here at Take 12. We'll be flying Delta Airlines all the way to New York City to hang out for the Monday Night Football game. You guys, if you live in Washington State, you can sign up for 12 status. Right now, if you haven't done it already, you're missing out on all these free miles that Geno Smith is providing. You get one airline mile for every yard that the Seahawks throw this season for signing up for 12 status. You got to be a Washington State resident. You also get priority boarding on your flights and 12% off at the team store, the Pro Shop, the Seahawks Pro Shop on the 12th of every month. So sign up for 12 status, everybody. David, we were talking about the receivers sort of when you came on here. I want to talk for one more second about that because, I mean, Lofa, we talk about him every week, but we got to talk about him again. Tyler Lockett, the 2-point conversion. Geno's running for his life back there all over looking like Tarkington or whatever. And then he just heaves it up there and there's Tyler again, just doing what Tyler does with like that sort of sliding one knee down.
Just a timeless individual. It's incredible. Mr. Reliable.
Man, he just does it all the time, Lofa.
Well, and the catch from the angle that I was at home, it looked like the ball could possibly hit the ground, but he just clutched it between his like forearm and his bicep and kept it off the ground. One guy, he put late hands. So late hands, a receiver, it's easy when your back is turned on the quarterback to play the ball. If the receiver's just like sitting there, like, you know, a young guy, they're just all excited, like, oh my God, here comes the ball. And he just waited. Last second, he just put his hands down, and the kid made a great play to pull one hand away, and that's why he grabbed it with one arm. But it was absurd. And then the arm strength from Geno to throw it all the way across his body, off his back foot.
He threw the ball, and I just in the living room yelled "Flyers up" because it was just like that whole game. But when I played as a kid, and I'm not very tall, and you know our man Tyler Lockett's not very tall either. But I would never come down with it ever. How does Tyler always come down with it? It's not fair, man. It's like the greatest short guy to ever catch anything. He just wins those balls all the time. It's just so impressive. It's amazing. Speaking of great catches and receivers, Jake Bobo, I mean, the hype is real, everybody. On the season now, 2 catches for a total of, I think, 8 yards, but 1 touchdown now. But the catch was sweet, man. The toe tap on the back line. I mean, it was a sweet catch. We got to give him some props on the catch and on the footwork.
We're starting a conspiracy theory that every time he catches a ball, we win because he's got one catch in each game.
all
And
touchdown.
we have a win in both those games.
Right.
He's
Two
got
for
all
two
touch-
so far.
every time he touches the ball, it's a touchdown.
But okay, something that me and Hawthorne can speak to. Hawthorne was much faster than I was, but we were not the fastest guys. And that's what we're dealing with this kid, Bobo Hawthorne. He's undrafted. He came in and he tore offseason up. Like it didn't matter who we put over there. He was getting loose and catching the ball, great hands. He's 6'6", big target. But just his playing speed is otherworldly. It's like he separates from guys, like that. And so I don't know. Well, I guess you could speak to the undrafted piece, the hunger, and then just making a name for yourself the way you did.
Oh man, absolutely, man. I mean, the guys. I mean, we're talking about him, right? Like, last year, who would have thought? Like, I feel like every undrafted guy, like myself, like you have nothing to lose, man. You go out there and you just display your character out there, and people, if you're the real deal, people will notice. Like like it just feels different, right? There's no entitlement. There's there's just whatever it took to get you there. You felt like you got overlooked by a lot of individuals, and so when it's real, and you go out there and you just leave it out there because what do you got to lose, man? It's like everybody that you go against every week, they thought were better than you at some point. Some coach, some scout, some somebody told you that individual was better than you, and that's why they got drafted. So that's the chip you can keep and store it in your bag. And every time you go out there and prove them wrong, it's just another little notch on your belt, man.
Dude.
Yeah.
The Bobo mojo is real.
Ooh, make the shirts. Make the shirts.
Like the Mariners thing. Yeah, Bobo mojo, baby. It's yeah, man. Believe the hype. He's here to stay. Flipping sides of the ball though, from the undrafted to the highly drafted. How about Spoon? And how about Spoon bringing the heat and the hits and the physicality? I'm not sure if that's a real word, but everyone in sports uses it. I mean, he's awesome, Lofa. I'm loving the 5th overall pick and what he's done in these 2 games and how he looks. It's really fun watching him play. And he had to really step up. Some guys went out, right? And he had to play out on the edge in this game a little bit. So, I mean, just overall, what'd you think of that whole game from him?
Just continually getting better. And it's only been 2 games. That's what's crazy. And he had a lot of tackles. And they're like, oh, they're throwing at him. They were throwing at him. They're going to try you as a rookie, just like Hawthorne was saying. Everyone wants to find out, are you the real deal? Mm-hmm. And, man, he stepped up big. I know there was that one read that Thielen got the touchdown late on that he just has to overlap a little quicker. But that'll come with time and experience. But what he brings to the table, maybe they were playing some Legion of Boom highlights in there or some David Hawthorne highlights in there because the fucking hits were coming and
lighting people up.
Dude, he knocked their second rounder out, Mingo. I believe that's where, and it looked like Spoon, he's only 185 pounds, maybe 180, 190. He came down, laid the boom, and Spoon looked like he got the worst of it, went sideways. The other guy left the game. It was real David Hawthorne-ish.
It looked like a guy who used to wear 31 instead of 21 a bit. I mean, he's maybe not as big as Cam, but that hit on the sideline like that, it's just sort of the way it happened. And with them wearing those uniforms, bringing back memories.
It looked like a 6th grade Cam Chancellor. I'd imagine Cam was that big in 6th grade.
That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, just a fun game, right?
So I want to ask Heater, can you speak to us the technique of a strong hit?
Yes.
Of a strong hit.
Just how did you do it, man? Because you weren't the heaviest either.
No.
What would you play? 235?
Yeah, like 235. But I think, obviously Cam is a great example as well, man. I think it's just the proper leverage and the proper timing and not flinching. The flinch part is what? Like there's a moment when there's an individual coming at you and they have to make a decision. Like, am I really about to go for this? And if they have that ounce of flinch, I will win that battle because I'm not flinching.
It's over.
Right?
Who told you that first? Where did you learn that?
Oh man, since Pee Wee, I figured out that's like an added advantage, right? It just was like I'm not the biggest, I'm not the fastest, but I had an innate sense of like, I know you're in a vulnerable like situation right now. And if you flinch, I'm gonna take your head off. And then now you have to think about that every time.
Every
Like
time.
for the rest of the game, you have to think about, does this dude really hit like this every play?
How? I mean, wow,
he
it's so
does.
fascinating. I'm so interested in like just the moment you kind of knew that for yourself, though, or unlocked that for yourself. Like as an athlete, how old were you really? Like 8, 9? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, I
When
mean
you
the
kind of
bull in the
realized?
ring. It started in Bull in the Ring. Like Bull in the Ring, I was vicious. If you didn't turn your head around in time and they called my number and you were in the middle of that circle when we were doing hidden circle,
Yeah.
it was a disaster.
Wow,
Right?
So
wow.
Bull in the Ring is like kind of one of those tests of manhood, kind of like Oklahoma drill, where it's like,
Well,
hey, so you're in the middle and everyone's lined around you, and they call out a number, and your head's got to be on a swivel. And like I said, if they called out 57, you're in trouble. If he's behind you, if you didn't get around quick enough, it's over. It's over.
oh,
Oh,
Bull in the Ring has made more basketball players than
Than any other drill, huh?
wow.
I'm going.
Oh, they should sell tickets. They should sell tickets or seats. Maybe they could sell seats to Bowl in the Ring.
Epic.
You guys,
All right.
It's an epic drill.
I would pitch a TV show called Playground Games, and we could put it on TV and sell tickets to it. And maybe Epic Seats could sell tickets to it. EpicSeats.com, everybody. That's a live read. There you go. If you're looking for seats to anything, find them on our friends EpicSeats.com. You can buy tickets to things, and you can also sell tickets to things. So if you're holding on to concert tickets or tickets to anything, sporting events, whatever, for some reason you can't go, you're looking to offload them, make your money back, or even make a little money, do it with EpicSeats.com and tell them that Take 12 sent you so that you can get an extra $12 when you're selling seats, or take 12% off when you spend $100. I said we would look around the league. We should do that. I think there were some interesting results out there. Which ones did you? Well, we know Heater was busy reminiscing with his
Oh
old
man,
pals, but
you gotta
Lofa,
you
what
wake up and
result?
wait to the recaps.
What result surprised you the most, or what was the one you were the most interested in?
I want to say Miami, Denver.
Yeah.
Like, holy
Katie,
shit.
that's not nice. Katie, that's not nice.
Katie says it all.
Come on, that's rude.
70 points. It was like anybody that touched it's going to the house. And I
Right?
mean, I think they put the
in a
whole
backup
league.
quarterback that dropped a couple dimes.
He threw a 70-yarder. It's like you.
Like, you get a touchdown. You get a touchdown.
Well, so Monster, like they pull him because they're like, all right, he's already got like 60, 70 yards and 4 touchdowns. You know, let's call off the dogs. They put in Devin Ashane or H-E, whatever his name is, the rookie.
Yeah.
His first game ever, and because he's been hurt through camp. And he gets 200 yards rushing on 18 carries, trying to run the ball out, and just takes it 65 yards.
Katie,
And then he gets a couple shovel passes, touchdown. Gets another touchdown on another run. It was just like they didn't have anybody else to put in.
Yeah.
Katie, please. This is not funny. These are professional football players, all right? It's not funny.
I think it's interesting. You know, just I watch recaps and stuff like that all morning, and it's very interesting because Sean Payton broke a G code, you know, earlier this year when he was coming at Hackett and talking about I would never coach a team like this and all of the great things, and then you get 70 hung on you and you haven't won a game yet. So
70, that's a lot.
I mean, karma.
That's
Hawthorne, right?
Karma right there.
Yeah.
I've given up 40 and cried for like a week straight. Just because it hurts the soul. I can't imagine 70.
How do you go back out there?
Yeah. 90 total points in the game, 70-20 final score. they put it on them down there.
738 yards of offense or something like that.
I mean, look, no matter who the quarterback is for the Broncos, we would have to talk about this one. It's historic. I mean, first time I think that many points. Like, did you say this is first time that many scored since '66 or something?
Yeah, fourth time ever someone scored 70 or more.
Peyton called it embarrassing. He said that. I mean, you guys are former players. Have you ever seen anything like this? And I mean, the players the Broncos players, I saw a couple interviews. They're just dejected. It's a mess over there. What's going on?
I'm trying to think if I've ever seen anything like this.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before.
I think the Patriots, when Tom Brady threw like 6 or 7 touchdowns before getting pulled for almost the second half.
Yeah.
He threw 5 and a quarter.
Well, what did they do, though? I mean, like from a Broncos perspective, not that we're from a Broncos perspective, but I'm just saying, like, you can't say, dude, I never played. I'm not going to say guys quit or whatever. I can't say that, but like, it didn't look like, I mean, it doesn't look good, man. Like, well, I mean, what's going on over there?
Well, no, that's exactly. Like, they'll look at the film. I'll let Heater speak to this too, because he played for Sean, but
yeah.
And it's going to be a long week for those guys. You know, you look at the film and you're honest with it. And if you see anybody just jogging, walking to the ball, it's like, hey, man, we're all up for review and we're going to watch this tape together and we're going to write it down. And at the end of the day, like, hey, whoever's hungry is going to play, you know? And I mean, this is how Hawthorne, you know, made his name, was by just being relentless. And so, but what do they have in store with Sean this week?
Oh my God. Well, they're in pads right now. They're in pads right now. I mean, it's just, you know, one of those things like, yeah, it's embarrassing, but at the end of the day, man, you like, what kind of culture do you have if that's allowed? If you can't, you know, get embarrassed like you just did and come back and be honest, like there's no hiding. Like the whole world saw it, and every man has to be accountable to what he put out there in front of the world. You know, there's a lot of individuals out there, you know, that are getting paid a lot of money to play that game at a very high level, right? And so 70 points, I mean, that's just atrocious. That's lack of effort. That's lack of pride. That's lack of culture. That's lack of a lot of things. And I know Sean, and Sean is, I mean, he's a straight shooter. Like there's no sugarcoating with him. And hopefully he gets it turned around. But at the end of the day, it's the players. Sean's not making any plays. He's not running any touchdowns or allowing anything. He's just calling the game. And the individuals out there got to decide to be different or they'll get blown out again.
If we look around our own division, I mean, the NFL, right? Like it's just, you can't predict it. The Cardinals take down the Cowboys, who everybody had going undefeated if you watch ESPN or anything. So, you know, our own division, I mean, they take down the Cowboys. The Niners won again. So the NFC West putting up some good showings here.
I'm legitimately concerned about the Cardinals. We don't know anybody. They've traded away almost all their good players. And they're finding a way to fight. What they wanted to. They lost a heartbreaker last week, and like after, I don't know if you guys saw it, but against the Giants, they gave up 20 in the fourth quarter. They blew like a 20-point lead or something to lose it, and like that could just dismantle any kind of attitude of, hey, this is our year. But they came back, shout out to them and their coaches, just like Hawthorne saying, you got to show up and play. And they came to play against a vaunted Dallas defense that everybody's like, oh my God, this is the greatest defense, already anointed. And they beat them, man. It was any given Sunday. That's what's beautiful about this league. You better be ready because
that's why everyone's got talent. They got the best scripts ever. I mean, and during a writer's strike too. It's impossible.
I thought we were on strike.
Green Bay came back on New Orleans. Sorry, Heater. I know you played down there, but how about Jordan Love in Green Bay and what he's doing? Minnesota 0-3. Who saw Kirko and the Vikings starting 0-3? Right, like just some
Kirk O'Bang
stuff out there. What else here? The Jets, the poor Jets, man.
Oh God.
I feel bad.
Fighting, man. I
didn't get to see that one. Was it bad?
It's final score 15-10.
Yeah.
Gross.
Weird.
I mean, it's not bad. I mean, they're one player away.
Well, so I saw reports that like I think Ryan and Wentz's representation reached out to them, and they're like, we're good. I wonder if that changes after putting up 10.
Much further we go.
They need to answer they need to answer the phone. They need.
How about our own score prediction, producer Katie? What happened? Do we know? Oh,
I'm not ready. Hang on.
oh, that's
I
okay.
got one.
Too busy laughing at the Broncos. Okay, fine. That's fine. The score prediction that we do on the show, it's brought to you by Simply Seattle. Last week, somebody nailed it. There's no way somebody nailed it 2 weeks in a row. We got a lot of people predicting this week, though. What happened?
It was.
The closest was Seattle 38, Carolina 21.
Okay.
And that goes to at Des Monster.
Yeah, but we don't do close enough anymore. You got to nail it now. So no winners this week. Nobody. That's it.
We've been doing it for 4 years. Someone finally won last week.
The score prediction brought to you by Simply Seattle. Go to simplyseattle.com. Mention Take 12, take 12% off of anything at Simply Seattle, your favorite place for all your Northwest sports apparel needs and just any sort of apparel. They have cool designs, whether it's got your favorite team on it or not. It's Simply Seattle, everybody. We're pretty much out of time. You want to talk about Colorado? Well, speaking of karma, you want to talk about Colorado real quick before we get out of here?
I mean, bringing up all Heat's teams, huh?
Well, listen, hey, I like, what about the stomping on the logo and all that? I am no fan of Oregon. I hate Oregon as a Husky fan. I hate Oregon more than I hate WSU, but they seem to take that personally, and this whole thing is juicy. I love the whole thing. All of it. I love the good, the bad, the ugly about all of this. It's the most fun thing to watch. Go ahead.
It's primetime TV, man. We're getting a show every week, whether we want it or not. You know, it's big market, but sometimes you got to play, and sometimes you're going to play against a big dog.
And that's all it came down to. I mean, you know, I know in the portal he got 80 new players, some of which he was familiar with, but Oregon's been stacked for years, and maybe this is the year they're putting it together. They look good. I expected the game to be a lot closer, but when you're without Hunter, and then you see the difference in defensive line play, and I've always said the game's won in the trenches, and it's just going to take one more year. This is
he needs depth.
Yeah, you need monsters all in the trenches, and they're coming in the portal next year. Watch, they're all jumping in the portal to be there next year. And
well, no matter what happens during the games, I'm just always excited to find out how it's going to be made personal because it's almost impossible to be on this kind of a run. You know, like they're going to play the Huskies coming up. They got USC, right? I mean, how are they going to keep finding a way to make the game personal? It's fiery, and Oregon's running up the score and going for it on fourth down when they're already up 42-0. It's just the whole thing's just awesome.
It is a soap opera.
That's so
like one of those things. It's like that's publicity on your side. Like, you know, they're about to go through a gauntlet right now. You know, when you talk about USC and the Huskies and
Washington,
it's about to get, you know, but we're gonna really get to see, you know, because if they lose 2 or 3 games, then the hype train will have to fall off a little bit. And
see, I stayed with that game. You know, I know Ole Miss and Auburn or Alabama were in a good one, and I was like, no, I'm staying here. I want to see how they respond after being down 35-0 because Lanning was going for it on 4th and goal like 2-3 times. And I think they only gave up another touchdown or field goal, and then they scored themselves. But
isn't that what it's all about at the end of the day is viewers not clicking somewhere else? I mean, when is the last time you didn't turn off a 42-0 game? Because I didn't either. I watched the whole thing because of everything that's going on. And Dion knows that. And Nike knows that, and the NCAA knows that, and everyone knows that, and I love it.
But I was rooting for a comeback. I was rooting for. I don't think everybody was rooting for a comeback.
I was sitting in local Chili's because my hometown, that's like the bar, and I'm sitting in Chili's and I see this guy with a Colorado. He's never watched Colorado football in his life, and I read his shirt. and it was like Buffalo fans since September 2023.
At least he's honest.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, it's great stuff. I love it. Thanks for being here, David. We all appreciate your time as usual, my friend.
Yeah, man.
We will
Crazy numbers.
see you very
Dallas.
soon. Very,
In
very
Dallas.
soon. Dallas,
Hoping
everybody.
that
Dallas.
Hoxton Taylor, I need at least 3 more bullets before I just start attacking my brothers who are diehard Cowboys fans. I just need 3 more bullets. I don't want to go premeditated. I don't want to go premature.
We're going to be in Dallas for the Dallas game. It's the week after Thanksgiving, everyone, and we'll be doing parties and events, and Heater will be there, and we will be there, and tons of other guests will drop by. Get all of that information at take12.com, take12travel.com. Sorry.
Yep.
take12travel.com. Nailed it. Check it out.
Tailgate like a Texan.
Can't wait.
Oh, I can't wait.
Bring your body paint, fellas.
Man. Well, and the way that our Seahawks are trending, and the way the Cowboys, I mean, this could be a really big game. Huge game at that point.
Great.
Yes. Why not? All right, everybody, we're getting out of here. Check us out on social media at Take12Pod. You can email us anytime, Take12 podcast gmail.com. I don't know. Put your hands in the middle. Let's break it down. I ran out of steam. Let's go. Come on. David, break us down. Let's go. Good practice. Good
Whatever you want. Break it down to whatever you want, Heat.
No, I thought we were going to do take 12 on me, take 12 on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Take 12. I wanted to go with linebackers, but whatever.
The recording has stopped.